Good evening. Tonight we're going to dive into the fascinating and complex world of romantic encounters in Victorian times. If you think dating today is complicated with all the apps, ambiguous messages, and awkward dates, wait until you discover the veritable maze of rules, etiquette books, chaperones, and social conventions that governed every interaction between men and women in the mid-19th century. Imagine a world where even the simple act of catching someone's eye is codified, where tipping your hat is equivalent to sending a secret message, and where receiving a gift from the wrong suitor can ruin your entire reputation. But before we begin, if you enjoy these stories, please like or subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you're listening to this story and what time it is where you are. It's always fascinating to know that people all over the world are falling asleep listening to these kinds of stories. Make yourself comfortable, take a deep breath, let your body sink gently into whatever you are sitting or lying on. We are off to London in May 1855, and I assure you, by the end of this story, you will be grateful for your comfortable mattress compared to the sheets and beds of Victorian times. The term making love in those days did not mean what you might imagine today. Making love was above all the delicate art of courtship, the ritual of seduction, and to survive in this rigid society it was best to know the rules of the game inside out. So, congratulations. You have just woken up in May 1855 in the heart of London, but not the London you know. This is Queen Victoria's London, where coal smoke mingles with the morning mist, where horses' hooves echo on the worn cobblestones, and where the air carries smells you won't soon forget. The River Thames, just around the corner, carries away the waste of 2.5 million inhabitants, and on these warm spring days the smell seeps into your room. You wrinkle your nose as you pull your thick wool blanket up to your chin. The good news is that you are 22 years old and come from a respectable middle-class family. Your father runs a small haberdashery shop, which means you have enough money for nice clothes and good meals, but not enough to lead a life of leisure. The bad news, you're a woman in 1855, and your future depends on one thing, finding a suitable husband. And the rules for doing so are as complex as learning to waltz while juggling teacups. You stretch your legs under the rough cotton sheets, feeling the heavy weight of the quilt pressing down on your chest. There is no central heating in this house. It will be decades before it is invented. So every morning begins with a bitter cold that seeps through the stone walls. Your maid Mary has been up since 5 a.m., lighting the coal fires downstairs. You hear her heavy footsteps climbing the stairs with the coal shovel full. The door to your bedroom creaks open and Mary enters, her arms laden with coal. Her hands are black with soot, and she seems to lean slightly to the left, no doubt from carrying the weight all day. She kneels by the fireplace and arranges the coal and kindling with a skill acquired through practice. The first spark flies, then a small orange fire begins to drive away the morning chill. "Good morning, miss," says Mary, wiping her hands on her apron. "Your mother says you must dress properly today. The Weatherbees are coming this afternoon, and they're bringing their son with them." Your stomach does a little leap. The Weatherbees, you've heard about their son, Thomas, 26, recently returned from India where he worked as a clerk for the East India Company. Your mother has been talking about this visit for weeks, and you know exactly what it means. This is not a simple social call. It's an inspection, a close examination. You sit up in bed, feeling the cool air brush against your shoulders through your cotton nightgown. The fire is starting to warm the room, but it won't really get warm until an hour or so later. You watch Mary busily preparing your clothes for the day. Not just any clothes, your best Sunday dress made of dark blue wool and adorned with small mother-of-pearl buttons, which your mother spent 3 months saving up to buy for you. You call out to her, your voice still hoarse from sleep. "Mary, what do you know about the Weatherby boy?" She glances towards the door, then approaches whispering, "Well, miss, I heard from the Weatherby's maid that he has all his teeth, which is more than can be said for most men his age, and he doesn't drink too much, even though he likes cigars." She pauses as she places your corset on the bed. Of course, he spent 4 years in India, so he may have some rather strange ideas. Well, you look at the corset with resignation. Every morning Mary laces up this corset made of whalebone and cotton, which compresses your ribs to the point where breathing becomes difficult. This garment is designed to give you the hourglass figure that was so prized at the time. but that means you'll spend the day feeling like you're being gently but firmly strangled. You swing your legs out of bed, and your bare feet touch the cold wooden floor. The white oak planks are polished by decades of use, but remain icy, no matter how bright the fire burns in the fireplace. You stand up and Mary begins to undo your nightgown. The concept of privacy is very different for a young woman like you. Mary has seen you naked thousands of times, and will continue to dress you this way until your wedding, when your husband's valet or your own maid will take over. First comes the chemise, a thin cotton undergarment that resembles a tea towel. Then the corset. Mary positions it around your waist and begins to tighten the laces. With each pull, your breath becomes shorter. By the end, you can only take small, controlled breaths. "Not too tight, Mary," you say, although you both know it's already as loose as fashion allows. "Of course, miss. Your mother said you must be able to speak clearly when the young gentleman arrives." Then the layers pile up. A puffy pad around the waist, 3 petticoats, then the dress itself. In total, you're wearing about 7 kilos of fabric, not counting the shoes. These are made of soft goat skin, flat and buttoned on the side with small mother-of-pearl buttons, fastened with a special hook by Mary. Your feet, wrapped in cotton stockings, are protected but not very comfortable. These shoes are made for walking gracefully in a drawing room, not for long walks. While Mary styles your hair in a very fashionable hairstyle, parted strictly in the middle, then pulled back into a low bun with perfectly placed curls framing your face, you think about what this afternoon has in store for you. A visit to the Weatherbys is like a job interview, except that the position available is that of wife. You will have to sit in the family living room and engage in polite conversation under the watchful eye of your parents and theirs, who will scrutinize your every move and every word. If Thomas Weatherby deems you worthy, he will ask your father for permission to visit you officially. If your father agrees, the formal courtship begins, which can last from a few weeks to several months. During this time, you will never be alone with him. Every interaction will take place under the supervision of a chaperone, often your mother or your Aunt Caroline, who lives with you and has strong opinions about everything. Mary finishes styling your hair and steps back to admire her work. You look at yourself in the small mirror on your dressing table. The face staring back at you is pale, fashionably so, because tanned skin means you work outside as a servant. Your lips are natural, as makeup is frowned upon for unmarried girls. Your eyebrows are dark and well-shaped. The overall effect is meant to suggest innocence, modesty, and good breeding. "You look lovely, miss," says Mary sincerely. Then she brings your breakfast. Breakfast consists of a cereal porridge, lightly enriched with cream, slices of buttered toast, and strong tea that would wake a deep sleeper. The porridge, although nourishing, is bland, while the bread has just been freshly baked by the cook, and the tea does its job effectively. You eat carefully, conscious of your corset compressing your stomach, and the dark dress on which any stain would be visible. Soon your mother enters your room, impeccably dressed in a dark brown wool dress with black trim, her hair styled similarly to yours, but more severely. "Good morning, my dear," she says, closing the door behind her. "We need to have a little chat before this afternoon." You put down your cup and give her your full attention. These moments usually herald important instructions. She sits down on the edge of your bed. "You know why the Weatherbys are coming," she begins. "Thomas is looking for a wife, and you need a husband.